Yeah, hi there. And these comments are for S.A. and I am Michael, the founder owner and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And you completed the diagnostic post-test in the pronunciation area of my online course. And you're also one of my students in the English language program at California State University, San Bernardino. And I'm going to listen to your pronunciation post-test or your pronunciation final exam, all right? So thank you for completing the assignment, and it looks like you have done it correctly.
When two people are talking to each other, they tend to stand a specific distance apart.
Good.
Each person has an invisible boundary around his/her body to watch other people may not come. If someone presses that boundary, he will feel uncomfortable and move away to increase the distance between them.
Okay.
The major exception is family members and other loved ones. The personal distance is not due to body odor or bad breath, but because closeness lends a sense of intimacy that is at odds with the relationship to the other individual.
Very clear pronunciation, very natural. Now here's a suggestion. When you get to but because, say but because closeness lends a sense of intimacy that is at odds with the relationship to the other individual. So sometimes you want to do what's called blending. Lends a sense of intimacy. So you want to take the word lens and then a and put those together as pretty much one word there. That's called blending. But you got a pretty natural sounding tone.
Interestingly, the average personal distance varies from culture to culture.
Okay.
Americans tend to require more personal space than in other cultures.
All right.
Therefore, if you try to get too close now to an American during your conversation, he or she will feel that you are in his face and will try to back away.
Okay.
Try to be aware of this. So, if the person to whom you are speaking backs away a little, don't try to close that gap.
Okay.
Also, try to avoid physical contact while you are speaking, since this may also lead to discomfort.
Okay.
Touching is a bit too intimate for casual acquaintances. So don't put your arms around her shoulder. Don't touch her face or hold her hand. Shaking hands when you
initially meet. That means for the first time, when you meet somebody for the first time.
Or part is acceptable, but this is only momentary.
Okay. So that last paragraph, you had a lot of problems. Let's go over a few words. Intimate. The next word is casual. And then acquaintances. So you had a lot of trouble with that particular sentence, and that kind of threw off the rhythm of your reading the whole paragraph. All right, now you're going to part B. You're going to answer 3 specific questions.
I am going to talk today about my best friend.
All right.
I have many friends, but my best friend is Muhammad.
All right.
I have known him when I was in elementary school, because we had some classes together.
Now, this is a problem here. I have known him I would say I knew him in elementary school, or I have known him since elementary school. So you're having some grammar problems with your verb tenses there.
And so we became good friends.
Okay.
He is a nice guy. He is a nice guy, and he wear like a pair of black glasses.
So, how about this? He is a nice guy who. So if you use who, you're using an adjective clause to help describe more about your friend. That's also giving you a little bit more advanced grammar. So your grammar is very, very basic right now.
And he has also a good marks. He always get a good marks, and he is helpful too. He always teach me how to do homeworks, and
Homework is an uncount noun, so we don't say homeworks. We just say he always helped me with my homework.
By the way, he likes to eating ice cream, sushi, and sweet. Always get a good marks, and he is helpful too. He always like teach me how to do homeworks, and he, by the way, he likes to eating ice cream, sushi, and sweets. He likes like playing soccer and reading books. So we always go together to library to borrow books together. And if he is unhappy.
Now, one thing you can do here you're not doing is consider using transition words. You might say therefore, or you might say finally, or to sum up. You might say furthermore, in addition. So you need to use some transition words to show how the different ideas are related, and that'll make it easier for other people to understand your ideas.
I will encourage him. When my friends need me to help, I out to help him all the time.
Okay.
And he always like be my right hand. And he always support me and push me and tell me the truth.
I'll say he always is like my right hand, not he always be. So he always is my right hand.
If the truth, it hurts me, but he always tell me the truth because he tried to keep me in the safe side. And this why he became my best friend.
Okay.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? What you will be doing? Let's see. I will be like a banker or like a consular finance because I already had a diploma degree from my country.
Okay.
I graduated before 3 years ago, and I am.
Be careful of the word like. Like is something we use in informal type conversational English. So I would just say I graduated 3 years ago, or I graduated in 2012. Right? So be careful about throwing, I call those conversation fillers, but it creates a little bit too much of an informal tone.
I'm getting my degree now, my educations, to reach my master's degree from my major is accountant, so...
I want to say my major is accounting, not accountant. Accountant is the person who does the accounting, and then accounting is the major or the noun thing, so be careful of your word forms.
I will be doing like some consular finance or accountant, like banking, or so, like a banker or something like that.
Okay.
Because I like math so much than any other materials, or like I don't like physical things or something, because or scientists or something like that, because the statistics, I think it's good for me. So I will.
Now you want me to give this to you? I mean, administer this to the students, and then after I'm done with it, bring it over to the office. Yeah, after I get them to take this test, then I bring it over to Sierra Hall? Okay, all right, thanks.
I do see myself 5 years from now in a banker.
Okay, cool. And I apologize for that disruption. Somebody just came in to give me a test that I have to administer to my level 6 students. All right.
Yes. My favorite season of the year, I think the majority of the people around the world, they like the summer, because the summer you can go outside, you can hang out with your friends, you can go at the beach, you can like do some.
Instead of saying you can go out with your friends, focus more on the I point of view. I can go out with my friends. So don't shift into that you. That's considered an inappropriate pronoun shift. Okay, let's keep going.
Barbecue or bonfire. I think the summer is more better for me than any seasons of the year, because the summer.
I would just say that the summer is better. You don't have to say more better, because once you say more better, that's actually ungrammatical, because more means You don't have to say more and then ER at the same time.
You can go out, you can do some exercise in the, like, in the morning or something, because that I like the summer seasons. I think the summer season is better than any season of the year. Also, the summers you can take like a vacation if you are working or a student studying or something like that.
So say in the summer you can, again I would focus on in the summer I can do this, I can also do that. So again, the transition words, the lack of transition words and the more complex type sentences makes it harder for you to fully express your ideas. So definitely the grammar area, I think, of English is something you got to focus on a lot right now.
You can take like vacation in the summer, because the summer, like, you have like, I think almost all the world they have like some festivals or some occasions or something like that in the summer especially. Yes. This is my favorite season of the year. It's summer. Thank you.
Yeah, I love the summer too, by the way. It's a great time of the year. Okay, let's take a look at the rubrics for the intelligibility post-test here. So 1.1 puts you at a high beginner, I think, pronunciation and speaking in English here. And then 7.0 puts you at a near native speaker. Okay, I'm going to put you in the 3 area. You have some grammar limitations. That's your biggest issue, really. I'm going to put you at about 3.2 out of 7. In order for you to improve your speaking and your pronunciation of American English, I think with pronunciation, you can go to the pronunciation area in my course, check out the lessons on thought groups and blending. I think that would be very important for you right now. But overall, though, you have a pretty natural sounding tone. You have pretty good control, I think, over your speaking. But your grammar, you're very limited with your grammar, so you use pretty basic sentence construction, so you could definitely improve in that. So go to the grammar part of my course. I would start first by completing the grammar pretest. Do that first. That'll tell you which areas in the grammar course you're most unfamiliar with, and then you can focus in those areas. But the main thing is, as you go through my grammar courses, pay attention to any lessons that help you understand sentence combining. For example, I have some good lessons on adjective clauses, noun clauses, adverb clauses. I have some lessons on using compound sentences. Also, another great lesson on what's called sentence varieties, so you definitely can make some improvements in that area. All right, so for the purposes of this class, let's take a look at, so I gave you a 3.3 or 3.2, so I'm going to put you right around 82% on this pronunciation post-test. All right, anyway, thank you for completing the assignment.